For months, Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa had been harboring unresolved frustrations. Nothing could have prepared them for the time when their paths would meet again, even though their divorce had been a peaceful, amicable one. A straightforward conversation soon turned into something much more sinister. Long-suppressed frustrations suddenly burst with a fury neither had expected. The carefully cultivated divide between them vanished in that moment, leaving only the raw force of unresolved pain. No amount of time or distance could ever remove the indelible impression that the ensuing confrontation would leave on them both. A fairy tale parabola. Long before they ever met in person, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonnet's romance began when a teenage Jason fell in love with his future wife on TV. He used to watch the classic The Cosby Show as a teenager, where Bonnet played the effortlessly stylish and attractive Denise Huxtable. He frequently admitted to his buddies that he would eventually marry her because he was so enamored with her. He had no idea that his dream would one day come true. When Jason and Lisa met at a jazz club in 2005, their dream took a surprising turn. Jason was only starting to establish himself in Hollywood at the time. But the more time passed, the more he admired Lisa. They clicked right together, and it was obvious that their relationship went beyond simple infatuation. They were 12 years apart in age, but they had a certain chemistry that sprang from their same spiritual outlooks and ideals. Both were deeply devoted to their families and loved the outdoors. And the basis for a long-lasting partnership was established by these similarities. Jason and Lisa decided to get married in 2017 after dating for almost 10 years. At their house in Topanga Canyon, California, the wedding was held in a modest, private ceremony. With the birth of 2 children, their family life thrived. A son, Nicole Wolf, in 2008 and daughter Lola in 2007. The Bonnet-Momoa home combined the excitement of Hollywood stardom with tranquil domesticity. Jason's personal life began to suffer greatly as his profession reached previously unheard-of heights due to the demands of his newfound celebrity. He had little time for anything else as his schedule grew more and more crowded with long days on set, promotional events, and red carpet appearances. Unfortunately, this meant that he was frequently away from his home and the family that he had put so much effort into creating. Lisa, however, had always been happy with the security of their Los Angeles home life. She had strong ties to the neighborhood and concentrated on raising their kids and keeping the family's haven safe as Jason's work flourished. Although she had always encouraged him to pursue his goals, their relationship started to suffer as their distance grew. With Jason's rapid success, the couple's once harmonious life, which was based on love and common aspirations, was gradually falling apart. It became impossible to ignore rumors of marital discord, as Jason's absences increased in length and frequency. There was a lot of conjecture in the tabloids and gossip blogs. Did Jason have a romantic relationship? Was he moving away from his wife because of his growing fame? Infidelity rumors started to circulate, with some claiming that his fancy events and late-night filming sessions were just a pretext for him to live a new lifestyle in which Lisa had no place. The public and continuing relationship between Lisa and her ex-husband, the renowned rock artist Lenny Kravitz, fueled the flames. Outsiders started to perceive Lisa and Lenny's closeness as more than just a friendly relationship that was centered on co-parenting their daughter Zoe, although they still had a strong link that was frequently apparent in their interactions. They would occasionally be seen together at gatherings or in family portraits that seemed to capture a familiarity that some people could not deny. To the general public, this merely served to further complicate an already peculiar and complicated situation. The culmination of this simmering dissatisfaction was an unexpected and stunning announcement. The tension had only just started, but the fairy tale was ended. The public response, media hysteria, and startling separation. Fans and the media were completely taken aback by Jason and Lisa's shocking revelation at the beginning of 2024. The pair had made the decision to part ways. The news was unexpected, especially since they had been regarded as one of Hollywood's most dependable and adored couples for years. As 2 prosperous people who had seemingly little trouble juggling their personal, professional, and family life, their partnership had always seemed ideal. Therefore, The news of their separation hit like a thunderclap and spread throughout news outlets, social media, and celebrity circles. Stubit, they made a succinct yet powerful statement that they shared on social media. We have decided to part ways after giving it a lot of careful thinking. We still have a strong commitment to our kids and will keep cooperating to make sure they're okay. During this period of change, we request that our privacy be protected. I appreciate your understanding and help. Despite being tactful and courteous, the message did little to stop the ensuing raging storm of rumors and conjecture. Theories abound in tabloids, with some pointing to increasingly salacious allegations of infidelity, and others speculating that Jason's soaring career had caused him to become more emotionally distant. Always seeking the most obscene information, the media couldn't help but delve deeper into every facet of their lives, searching through their previous interviews and appearances for indications of rifts in their apparently perfect marriage. Despite the media hysteria that surrounded them, Jason and Lisa appeared to be attempting to deal with the fallout from their split while keeping their kids in the forefront of their minds. A quiet turning point in their relationship was their divorce settlement, which showed that they were more interested in moving on than in bringing each other down. In a rare step in celebrity divorces, Jason and Lisa both waived spousal support, indicating that they preferred to go on their own rather than fight over money for a long time. A clear understanding that their separation was not about winning or losing was evident in their choice to avoid financial entanglements. It was about putting their family, which was the most important thing, first. At the center of this arrangement were the couple's two kids, Lola and Nakoa Wolf, and both parents pledged to co-parent together, making sure that their kids' welfare would always come first. Many who had followed their turbulent journey were further astonished when Jason and Lisa both declared mutual respect for one another in public speeches following the settlement. As always, the expert Jason commended Lisa for being a superb mother and collaborator in their joint duty of children. Even though their romantic connection was over, Lisa expressed her appreciation for the years they had spent together and her ongoing respect for Jason's commitment to their family. Their statements had a cautious but earnest tone. They were obviously determined to keep their cordial, cooperative relationship going forward. This was something they truly felt was best for their children, not just something. However, tension between the two increased as the days went by since old wounds resurfaced, particularly after Jason moved on with someone else. Fresh starts. Adria Arona and Jason. To Lisa's dismay, Jason Momoa's romance with actress Adria Arona started soon after the divorce. When Jason was seen dining with friends in Japan in May 2024, it was the first indication of a budding romance. However, this was no ordinary meal. You could feel the spark sizzling between Adria and him, and in a few days, rumors about their relationship escalated into serious conjecture. Jason's social media post referring to Adria as Mamor, the Spanish word for my love, only served to heighten the interest. It was the type of personal gesture that conveyed more information than words could. Jason fell deeply in love. The media devoured every detail, speculating on the dynamics and time frame of their newfound romance, since the public couldn't get enough. The couple had come out of the shadows by February 2025. It was electrifying when Jason and Adria made their first official public appearance together at the SNL 50 party in New York City. There was no denying their chemistry. Photographers on the red carpet caught the couple in moments of unadulterated happiness. Their body language and grins convey a lot. The two made a strong statement by showing up together at such a well-known event. This was a long-term relationship. It was a daring move that further added to the escalating rumors about their affair. Adria, however, wasn't merely a stranger in Jason's life. The Puerto Rican actress was already establishing herself in Hollywood at the age of 33. The situation became unexpectedly complicated when she starred in the movie Blink Twice, which was directed by Jason's ex-stepdaughter, Zoe Kravitz. The link between Adria and the Kravitz family was too obvious for both fans and industry insiders to overlook. Was there more to the narrative, or was this just a coincidence? The relationship was made even more intriguing by the confluence of their personal and professional lives, with many people wondering how Jason's relationship with Zoe's family would be affected. The relationship between Jason and Adria deepened behind the scenes. They started going out in public more often. You could feel their chemistry even stronger. The couple seemed to be lost in their own world as Jason, ever the social media junkie, shared pictures from their romantic holidays and other moments spent together. The feeling that this wasn't only a passing affair was greatly strengthened by their stay in Japan, which was filled with peaceful moments and laughing. It was authentic. Jason saw his connection with Adria as the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one in which he would be able to get past the pain of his divorce from Lisa and find happiness again. In Adria's company, the burden of his previous hardships seemed to lessen, and his happiness was evident. The difference was evident to fans who had followed him through the difficult circumstances of his breakup. For the first time, he was grinning in a sincere and unburdened manner. However, this new chapter did not sit well with everyone. Lisa was navigating a sea of complex emotions as she continued to get used to life following their divorce. It would never be easy to have another woman in her children's lives. But Lisa found it more difficult to conceal her dissatisfaction and contempt as Jason and Adria's relationship gained more attention. Once full of understanding, their co-parenting dynamic was now tainted by the strain of Jason's constant moving on. So openly. This was more than just the dissolution of a marriage for Lisa. It had to do with a new reality she had not expected, where her children's lives were irrevocably impacted by Jason's new love. The feeling of loss she was experiencing was unavoidable. Despite her efforts to reconcile, this new connection had arrived too soon, changed too rapidly, and now posed a threat to the equilibrium she was fighting to maintain for the benefit of her kids. And for what? She questioned. For a lady he hardly knew, Jason was putting their children's safety at jeopardy. What did he instruct them in? He had once declared his love for their mother, so why couldn't he understand how insulting his acts were to her? The conflict wasn't limited to Jason and Adria's recent relationship. Lisa was truly driven over the edge by the way he handled things. The largest altercation is growing tensions. When Jason, who seemed eager to include Adria in their family life, started introducing her to their kids, Nakoa and Lola, Lisa's frustrations reached a breaking point. Lisa's feelings finally came to the surface during one of these encounters. Jason called the kids one day like he often did, a habit that used to feel like a lifeline for all of them. However, something was different this time. Jason passed the phone to Adria after speaking with his kids, anticipating that the kids would talk to her as well. Hoot. Lisa became enraged at the gesture's blatant disrespect. She couldn't handle the thought of another woman being so engaged with their children's life. Unable to contain her rage any longer, Lisa addressed Jason, her voice quivering with rage. Sharp and scathing, she yelled over the phone, "My kids don't need a stepmother singing goodnight lullabies." Her voice had a tone of intense resentment and betrayal, feelings that for months had been brewing beneath the surface. Adria wasn't the only target of the rage. It dealt with the overpowering sense of loss, the feeling that she was losing her family in uncontrollable ways. For his part, Jason was surprised. He hadn't expected Lisa's response to be so strong. Assuming that Lisa would ultimately come to terms with Adria's presence and that time would heal the scars from their divorce, he had been attempting to make things work his way. However, Lisa's air grew stronger the more he attempted to defend his behavior. When Jason asked Nakoa to go with him and Adria to the March 30th, 2025 premiere of the Minecraft movie, the tension escalated. He intended to accompany the youngster on the red carpet because he knew he enjoyed the game and would enjoy the film. Lisa was entertaining some friends when he arrived at her house, but he was gravely misguided if he thought he would be welcomed. According to reports, Lisa told her pals she had to tell her ex-husband that he couldn't arrive unexpectedly as soon as she saw him waiting in the driveway. She joked about Jason's immaturity as he approached the house, referring to the 12-year age gap between them. She cleaned the floor with him while her buddies laughed freely, and Jason was obviously very ashamed when he came up to them. Nevertheless, he assumed Lisa would accept right away when he respectfully requested her permission to bring their son to the film's premiere. Lisa, however, vehemently objected, stating that Nakoa would not be near Adria. She emphasized, "No stepmoms, displaying her long-standing hostility for Jason's new partner. Anger clenched Jason's face. He was offended by Lisa's disdainful tone, but what really enraged him was the power she possessed over every part of their son's life. Lulpsta. You can't control everything, he retorted, his voice full of anger. As the tension in the room increased, he said, Nakoa is my son, too. I have a right to make decisions for him. After years of putting up with Lisa's demands, he was now resolved to take a stand. Fined enturosi. Lisa, however, was not going to back down. With a look of utter defiance, she folded her arms across her chest. Not now, she responded firmly. He won't go to that premiere with you. I will not allow you to place him in that predicament. She was obviously referring to more than simply the premiere. She was talking about a more profound issue that had been brewing for many years. Their continuous battle for authority over the raising of their kids. Jason could feel the heat rising in his veins. The extent Lisa was going to keep their son away from him was beyond his comprehension. He had been making an effort to co-parent with Lisa in a respectful and understanding manner, but he felt like he was losing since she wouldn't make any concessions. So, now that he was attempting to establish a connection with Adria, he had become weary of her having complete control over all decisions pertaining to their kids. Jason uttered the words, "This isn't just about the premiere," in a frustrated tone. He didn't care if people were seeing him lose it. He was going utterly crazy. This is about you trying to dictate every aspect of my life and punishing me with the kids. Why must you make things so hard all the time? The dispute continued for what seemed like our lifetimes, with neither side prepared to concede. There was more to Jason's resolve to take Nakoa to the premiere than merely the occasion. It had come to represent the larger struggle for dominance between him and Lisa. He wanted to demonstrate to her that he was not merely a passive observer in their co-parenting arrangement, but that he was capable of making his own decisions for their son. Lisa, however, was just as intent on establishing her dominance. She had no intention of giving Jason what he wanted, but according to reports, a number of family friends saw Jason yell at Lisa during the dispute before he drove off. They were at a dead end in their argument. Jason made the decision to go to the premiere by himself since he didn't want his son to get involved in the turmoil. He was uneasy about the choice. Although he had thought Nakoa would accompany him, Lisa's rejection had made it apparent that he would not prevail in this struggle. He continued with his ambitions in spite of the emotional toll it had on him. Jason and Adria attracted attention as they walked the red carpet at the magnificent London premiere. Adria looked stunning in a flowing lavender dress, and Jason looked confident and stylish in a striking purple velvet suit. Together, they created a statement that highlighted both their joint public persona and their developing relationship. The premiere served as a celebration of their status as a power couple to the world. However, Jason couldn't get rid of the resentment that was eating away at him, even as they basked in the night's glitz. He was upset with Lisa for constantly interfering in his life, not just for keeping Nakoa from going to the event. He was embarrassed not only by his son's absence, but also by his apparent helplessness in the face of Lisa's unrelenting dominance. Would this be the course of his life? Would he have to plead with his ex-wife each time he desired to see his kids? And would he ever get to appreciate having his girlfriend and his children in the same space? It didn't seem likely at the moment, but only time would tell. The future, what Jason and Lisa's future holds. The events of that night represent a turning point in Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa's relationship that was nearly unimaginable. After Jason and Lisa had successfully negotiated the difficulties of post-separation living, their kids always came first. However, the emotional distance between them became evident that fateful evening. Heise's bitterness and spoken irritation has replaced what once felt like a partnership based on respect and understanding, making it seem like a faraway past. This change is especially burdensome for Lisa, and her feelings are intense, and it's obvious that she can't conceal the mounting dissatisfaction that permeates every conversation she has with Jason. The tension only increased when Adria was added to the mix. It is evident that Lisa is uncomfortable with her presence, and the scar she bears from another woman now living with their kids appears to get worse every day. Instead of providing Jason with the happiness and healing he had hoped for, His new relationship further complicates the already strained dynamics within the family. Lisa's rage and feelings of betrayal are genuine. Again, co-parenting isn't the only thing involved anymore. It concerns the ghosts of a love that never really ended but is unrevivable, as well as the struggle for their children's emotional health. With each hour that goes on, the situation becomes more intense. The hatred, hurt, and fury all linger in the air, oppressive and heavy. Is it possible for Lisa and Jason to repair the damage? Are they able to mend the profound wounds, or is there no way to save their relationship? An irrevocable victim of change, time, and their own emotional distress. The world waits in fascination for a possible denouement that never materializes. An already volatile scenario is made worse by the public's constant obsession with their drama. Every action and every look is analyzed. Every mistake turns into a new story. The dilemma still stands. Can Jason and Lisa move on together or separately without ruining their remaining family? There is ambiguity around the future of their partnership. Only time will tell whether this is the last chapter of a once beautiful tale or whether their broken link can ever be healed. Is Lisa correct to keep her kids away from Jason's new girlfriend? In your opinion? Please use the comments section to share your thoughts with us. Thank you for viewing. I'll see you in the upcoming video.